That's the important part. You can hear me a little. Low is okay. Let me have a quick boo. I can do some adjusting. How about now? Is that better? How about now? Because it says the mic should be pretty loud. Okay. Okay. Weird. Because it says it's pretty loud on this side. Okay. Sweet. Okay. So I had to put it up louder. Alright. That's all good. New mic. Yeah, I finally bought the more professional style mic, so it has a manifold it has to go through. But my computer doesn't seem to like this manifold for whatever reason. So I can record right now because I couldn't record and I couldn't get it to work on Streamlabs, but I could listen to YouTube. But now I can't listen to YouTube, but it's working and I can record. So I've tried different ports on my computer. I think my computer does not like this manifold. So I might go back and try a new one. Or talk to the people I bought it from. But I got it to work finally. It took 5 restarts on my computer to finally make it work. I thought I'd just try one more time, and it worked. Alright. So, we're going to do the first... So I'm going to read 2 sentence horrors for you guys, so that's what you can see on the screen. I'm not going to put the text up, because that would ruin the surprise of what I'm going to read. Alright. Yeah. Alright. So, there we go. Your baby depends on you. It has no chance to survive without you. The AI of the rescue ship explained gently. No, redo that. Your baby depends on you. It has no chance to survive without you. The AI of the rescue ship explained gently. We're still too far out, and if you allow yourself to starve to death, you both will die. The logic is obvious. Too much.
Your babe?
Oh, right. Hold on. Why is it going... That's weird.
Your baby depends on you. It has no chance.
Weird, it's playing through the speakers on my computer instead of into my headphones. That's really weird. You guys, yeah. Yeah, I don't think my computer likes this at all. Nope, don't do that.
We're still still too far out, and if you allow yourself to starve to death, you both will die.
I'm just gonna let it be since I had to fight with my computer too long to just record. So we're just going to play with it. No son of mine's going to play with girl toys, he yelled, grabbing the doll and ripping its head off. The boy watched his father The boy watched his father's headless body bleed into the carpet. Oh, I totally get that, Sydney. I get like that all the time. I'm like, I want food, but I don't want any of the food in my house.
No son of mine's going to play with girl toys.
Yeah, last night I ordered shawarma platters, and the amount of food I get from them is, especially since someone else cooks it, cost efficient very well because I get about 3 meals out of it. So depends where you order and what you order. You can make it worth your time. Oh yeah, and I don't have a mute button anymore. So, not ideal, but it is what it is. How about this? 2 weeks on Maui. That's Maui, not Miami. How about this? 2 weeks in Maui, just you and me, with no kids and no distractions. Oh, honey, my wife replied, her fingers tightening around the trigger of the revolver. It's too late to negotiate. Another really cost-efficient one is there's a Chinese place in town near us that does a lunch special. Hey, September! And the amount of food you get normally is enough for about 2 or 3 meals, but last time we got it, I ate it all almost in one sitting. I was quite shocked by that. Hey Ember, I'm having some troubles, or not Ember, sorry, September. I'm having troubles with this new mic and its manifold. September, sorry.
How about this? 2 weeks in Maui, it didn't.
And if you hear playback, it's because, it's just not really working very well. I'm just happy I got this stupid mic to work. It's just really bizarre. This whole kind of doing a step up, and it's really been bugging me. You okay, Bobos? Were you just on your back too long again? Lulu likes to lie on her back, and then she'll wake up coughing because she like chokes on her tongue. It's so funny. Next, Ollie, if I stop hitting everything. Alright. I held the knife into my I held the knife in my throat, watching my assailant run off with my wallet and cell phone. Whatever you do, don't remove the blade, I told myself as I collapsed on the steps of urgent care, which was closed for another 29 minutes.
Whatever you do, don't remove the.
Oops, not that. That was the wrong thing. Is the stream buffering or is it good? Because I'm getting warnings from YouTube right now about it. Hoping you guys are still hearing me. I'm not sure. No replies. Okay, good. I just wonder. YouTube sometimes reads things wrong, so. Please help me. Some guy chained me here a few months ago. Let me try that again. Please help me. Some guy chained me here a few months ago. She tearfully pleaded after seeing me approaching. Seeing the blood running down her legs, I grabbed a shovel and bluntly asked, "Are you the tramp that's fucking my husband?" I'm going to... Oops. I really wish I was able to keep the first stream up that I made. I might have had more people show up, but maybe not. Oops. I tried. Is it recording? No, it's just behind. Alright. The Waste Company completed their first. The Waste Company completed their first rollout of their new mini black hole in-home disposal. The Waste Company completed their first rollout of their new mini black hole in-home disposal units. People were scared of what would be sucked in, but once the People were scared of what it would suck in, but once the tangled mess of limb-like flesh started coming out, all they could think of was trying to force the mass back in. Oops, wrong button. Don't want that. Nope. I keep wanting to write May. I don't know why. I just keep typing May. And I'm like, no, it's June, it's not May. When the psychic told my wife, when the psychic told me and my wife, when the psychic told me my wife would die soon in childbirth, I knew it was all a scam because my wife's infertile. I should have considered that she is also a midwife. Oh, gotta read that part. I should have considered that she is also a midwife. Doesn't mean it has to be her child she's birthing. All right. Admiring the craftsmanship shift. Blah, blah. Admiring the craftsmanship. Admiring the craftsmanship that went into the wooden chair my grandfather made for me as a child, I could almost hear his words. That chair will outlive all of us. After decades of collecting dust in my attic, it would not so much as creak when I stepped onto it. I gotta redo that last part. After decades of collecting dust. After decades of collecting dust in my attic, it didn't so much as creak when I stepped up onto it. After decades of collecting dust in my attic, it didn't. After decades of collecting dust in my attic, it doesn't so much as creak when I step up onto it. Alright. I won't lie, that one took me a little bit to understand when I first read it. Oh, it outlived everyone. Thank you for still being here, Ash. Oops. I totally knocked something over, as always. I'm a mess. Always have been, always will be. Has anyone got any plans today? I know it's kind of halfway through the day, but... I added a Q&A in case you guys would like to add to it. As a child, I was horrified by the realistic Jesus statue in my family's church. From the thorny crown on his head all the way up to the nails in his feet. Oh, well, rain's good. Rain's a good thing to have, but yeah, is it that hot where you are, September, that you have to be worried about being outside for too long? And that's all good, Sydney. I'm happy you're eating. Makes you wonder if the statue is not a statue. I'm sorry that the smoke from my country has invaded yours. Yeah, it's actually pretty bad quality where I am too. They're advising staying inside if you can. It's just, I don't know, it's really early in the season again. I could smell it yesterday. I didn't know we had any fires. Oh yeah, active wildfires in Canada. Let's see here. Where are the fires right now? Quite a bit everywhere. They've gotten so bad. It's a lot in the north. One little one all the way over there, eh? Yeah, it looks like there's lots of fires happening again. Lots of little small ones, but some really big ones too. Which would explain what I was smelling yesterday. I meant to check this yesterday, actually, to be honest. So. Well, thank you, Ash. Just gotta wait for the map to. Oh, yeah, the smoke is like really covering the states too. It's not terrible where I am, but it's not great either. But, jeez. Well, at least BC's not burning down for once. But it looks like it's just mostly in Saskatchewan. And a little bit in Alberta in the north. Interesting. Fires again. Always gotta have those fires. Every year. It's just part of the job, it seems like now. Welcome everyone who has joined. I can see I have 5 people now. Welcome, welcome. Alright, let's go back to narrating a couple. Wake up! Nope. Wake up! I screamed at the sleeping forms of my wife and daughter, but my panic cries fell on deaf ears. Standing next to my sobbing wife as we watched our home burn to the ground, I reached with a sad smile for the little hand of the small form manifesting between us. I will start from the beginning. Well, not the beginning of the second sentence. Oops, I need to fix that real quick. Standing next to my sobbing wife as we watched our home burn to the ground, I reached with a sad smile for the little hand of the small form manifesting between us and prepared to guide my family into the light I've been ignoring for so many years. Okay, almost had it that time. Hello, Jellybean. Welcome. It's been a while. Standing next to my sobbing wife, as we watched our home burn to the ground, I reached with a sad smile for the little hand of the small form manifesting between us, and prepared to guide my family into the light I've been ignoring for years. Hello, Jelly Bean. Yes, I don't also live stream as much as I used to either, so that doesn't help. I'm going to try to make it maybe every other week and make it something I do with the 2-sentence recordings that I need to do. Because I almost have to do these every other week. I record so many. I have a problem. People always, like, sometimes they'll reply to me like, oh, if you still need it. I'm like, yes, I always need more. Send me more. You can never send me too many.
Wake up.
I'm going to do that one more time. Just to kind of even that one out.
Wake up.
Yay, I'm actually thinking I'm finally remembering it's June and not May. It only took me 8 days into the month. Better late than never, eh? Will you gamble and spin one more time to win our jackpot prize of 10 million tonight? Asked the game show host. She thought hard for a few minutes before nodding and nervously loading the third bullet into the revolver. That is almost a 50-50 chance, I think, at that point. If it's 3 and there's 6, I think. Not that I've ever been good with math. What was it? Jackpot prize? Yeah, our jackpot. Alright. At least I don't have to do the temp thing anymore, because it doesn't record weirdly in the front anymore like it used to. Kept my eyes I kept my eyes on the husband because the wife's eyes always fearfully darted to him before she answered any questions that involved her injuries. I did not expect to see the husband's eyes darting in the same manner towards the ragged doll sitting on the fireplace mantel. Rigid doll. I did not expect to see the husband's eye. I did not expect to see the husband's eyes darting in the same manner towards the rigid. No, it was ragged. Raggedy doll. I did not expect to see the husband's eyes darting in the same manner towards the raggedy doll sitting on the fireplace mantel. Ooh, do you have Annabelle? That's a bad idea. You should really not have Annabelle. Well, I've already recorded 14 of these. Funny part is the first time I recorded with this mic, I did say temp in the front out of habit. I was like, wait, I don't think I need to. Because that mic that I had in between this one and the Yeti was not the greatest mic. But it worked, and that's all I was asking for. Okay. Hope the music's still playing too. Yep, okay. That way my dead air isn't really dead air. I hope also the music was a good pick. I actually can't hear it. I have it playing in the background in a way I can't hear. When I died, my afterlife was filled with dogs as far as the eye could see. I recognized them. I recognized them all as the ones I lost in my ring. And you deserve every last bit of pain that you're about to feel. Alright, there we go. Add a pull now. I just do random things for you guys. Just random stuff. When it was announced that the massive asteroid would miss the Earth by almost... When it was announced that the massive asteroids would miss the Earth by almost 240,000 miles... When it was announced that the massive asteroids would miss the Earth by almost 240,000 miles, the population breathed a sigh of relief. When it instead shattered the moon into 1,000,000 pieces, humanity anticipated. When it instead shattered the moon into 1,000,000 pieces, humanity anticipated a slow, miserable death. The moon does quite a bit. I'm realizing as I'm live, I also have a video that just went live too, which is kind of funny. But it does go live at the same time every week, so I don't go live all the time. He refused to join his excuse me. He refused to join his wife in trying to contact their daughter through a medium, adding, "It's all a load of nonsense." On his wife's return, he heard a click of a revolving hammer being cocked, followed by On his wife's return, he heard the click of a revolver's hammer being cocked. On his wife's return, he heard the click of a revolver's hammer. On his wife's return, he heard the click of a revolving hammer being cocked, followed by, "I know the reason why she committed suicide." I don't think I want to know why she committed suicide. Alright. What did you say to your friend that drove him to commit suicide? Asked the cop to the teenager. The next day, it was discovered that the cop had committed suicide. Whatever it is, don't repeat it again. Alright. I think we're halfway through them. I know my husband was cheating on me, and although I can forgive him, I had to know who the homewrecker. Seriously, house wrecker. I knew my husband was cheating on me, and although I could forgive him, I had to know who the whom. I knew my husband was cheating on me, and although I can forgive him, I had to know who the homewrecker was. Of all the people, I didn't expect to find my sister. Of all the people, I didn't expect to find my sister stuck to him after I filled the Of all the people, I didn't expect to find my sister stuck to him after I filled super glue in the lube bottle beside the bed. I mean, that's one way to get caught red-handed, I guess. Sorry about the coughing, guys. Ever since I got that last cold, I can't get rid of this cough. It's been like this for months now. At least it's not affecting my voice anymore like it was. I've been driving for hours, I have been driving for hours, making sure I was always going above 40 miles per hour. Because I know the guy crouched in the back seat is waiting for the perfect moment. And I really don't want to affect with any of the buttons. Alright. That's your preference. This one's pretty dark. I was beyond relieved when the police had cleared me of abusing my 4-year-old daughter, and that her accusations were just attention seeking. I took great pleasure in yet again screaming in her face that she should kill herself, while I took great pleasure in yet again screaming in her face that she should kill herself, while knowing that I took great pleasure in yet again screaming in her face that she should kill herself, while knowing that not all abuse leaves a physical mark. Which is why they don't look for only physical anymore. It's a lot of psychological stuff they have to do too now. My girlfriend was beyond excited as the dog ran over and began barking at her. Yeah, excited, yep. My girlfriend was beyond excited as the dog ran over and began barking at her. My girlfriend was beyond excited as the dog ran over and began barking at her. I could barely suppress my smirk as she protested her innocence. I could barely suppress my smirk as she protested her innocence, while the Colombian police officers removed the cocaine from her luggage. It's one way to break up with your girlfriend, I guess. My sister is refusing to speak to me after I stopped provoking. My sister is refusing to speak to me after I stopped providing her with free stuff for my job at the children's hospital. I can't understand why she doesn't just catfish some loser on Tinder. I can't understand why she doesn't just catfish some loser on Tinder, as that will be a much easier way to get a steady supply of virgin's blood. Tinder, where you go to get what you need. We have 11 more to go. Only 11. While our toddler began screaming at her. We could only watch on in horror while our toddler began screaming as her body seemed to be imploding in on itself. I realized the stories of tornadoes appearing inside of people were true, as a tiny storm cloud emerged from her mouth carrying all her internal organs. Ugh, that was not a pretty sight in my brain. Well, creepypastas are now winning. Welcome whoever joined. Okay. I let out a scream as a fountain of blood emerged from my toddler's mouth before she reached up and snapped her own neck. I stood there gazing at her tiny little body, well, now knowing why people warn you to never wake up someone sleepwalking. Which, for clarification, they have disproven. Excuse me. Nothing bad will happen, apparently, if you do wake up a sleepwalker. Especially if they're putting themselves in danger. Moments after the radio warned of an escapes. Moments after the radio warned of an escaped serial killer with a hook, a hideous man with a hook approached a couple in a parked car, sending the terrified female passengers fleeing while her unconscious 18-year-old date remained inside. The police later recovered 30 bodies from the nearby forest and praised the hooked man's performance, while allowing them to move in safely without risking the 18. The police later recovered 30 bodies from the nearby forest and praised the hook man's performance, while allowing them to move in safely without risking the 18-year-old's life and arresting the Dark Knight Killer, notorious for murdering male teens driving to sell their cars for scrap and then severing genitals. The police later recovered. The police later recovered 30 bodies from the nearby forest and praised the hook man's performance while allowing them to move in safely without raising the 18-year-old's life, The police later recovered 30 bodies from the nearby forest and praised the hook man's performance while allowing them to move in safely without risking the 18-year-old's life and arresting the Dark Knight Killer, notorious for murdering male teen drivers to sell their cars for scraps and their severed genital nope. Great. My brain is not liking that word. Why did my body do that? Why did my mind do that? Because I can't properly hear what I've narrated, can't tell where I can cut that off. The police later recovered 30 bodies from the nearby forest and praised the hook man's performance, while allowing them to move in safely without risking the 18-year-old's life and arresting the Dark Knight Killer, notorious for murdering male teen drivers to sell their cars for scrap and severing their genitalia as medicine. I can say that word. I can't say the other one right now, so. Wish this cough would go away. think it's the longest two-sentence I've ever read. My sadistic captor cast a spell that forced my eyes and ears to stay open as he ignored my 6-year-old my sadistic captor. Yeah. My sadistic captor cast a spell that forced my eyes and ears to stay open as he ignored my 6-year-old son's cries for me, continuing his brutal physical torture on him. I could still move about, but there was nothing I could do as the dead cannot touch the living. Alright, so just a few more to go. Actually, just give me a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Alright. To protect their 12-year-old son from a serial killer on the loose, his parents ensured that the pet door was so small that an adult To protect their 12-year-old son from a serial killer on the loose, his parents ensured the pet door was so small that an adult couldn't squeeze through. The next day, they found their son brutally murdered in his bed, and the message on the wall written in his blood read, "Children can kill too." I would just lock your pet door. They make those.
Kill two.
The gas station. The gas station attendant secretly locked the store and lied to the woman to get her to stay inside before slipping out through the back to alert the sheriff about the figure in her back seat. By the time the sheriff arrived, the attendant's murder... By the time the sheriff arrived, the attendant's mutilated body was in the dumpster, and the huntress of death was gone, along with the bound and gagged abductee in her back seat. Well, that didn't turn out the way he wanted it to. Heck, it didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to. When the woman jumped from the 10th story with her 6-year-old son, her abusive husband spared no expense for her boys. When the woman jumped from the 10th story with her 6-year-old son, her abusive husband spared no expense for the boy's wake, but refused to do the same for his wife, cruelly scrawling on her cardboard coffin, "I'll never forget this." 6 years after remarrying, his new 6-year-old son also jumped off the 10th story after saying his imaginary friend told him he can fly, and the police found a note on the wall saying, Mom never forgot it either. Mom never forgot either. Alright, we just have 4 more left. Also, the police would look a lot more closely at him, too, if it happened twice. What do people that you love and care about keep dying, sir? You didn't hesitate to kill the villagers. Sorry. Sorry about that. You didn't hesitate to kill the villagers in the last village. Why hesitate in this village? Asked the soldier. Look carefully. These are the same villagers, and they're even doing the exact same chores, the other soldier replied. Oops. Nope. Do this. The other soldier replied. The other soldier replied. Oops. Wrong person. When she killed her abuser, no one suspected her. It was the only time she was grateful for being a doll. No one ever... That's why the guy kept looking at the doll. He knew it was really alive. So that's from way at the beginning, like the first one I read. Last 2. And then I'll read a creepypasta. Because that's the one that won. So. I'll find a little short one because my voice seems to be finishing itself right now. I might have to do some heat treatment to it. Oh, yeah, this one. Why don't you ever reply to anyone in the comments section? Wrote the little girl in the comments section of our favorite horror story writer's latest story. That night, the little girl woke up in the middle of the night, and from a dark corner, a voice said, "I like to reply in person." I'm missing some of this. Hold on. Okay, we're on the last one now. Nope. Last story. So, you died while playing astronauts with a plastic bag, but why aren't you going inside? Asked an angel to the kid standing in front of heaven. Daddy said he's going... Daddy said he had another plastic bag to play astronaut with little sister, so I'm waiting for her, the kid replied. Alright, that was the last one. I just gotta finish touching it up and we're good to go. Last one is done. Alright, that's good, that's done. Alright. Alright, so... Excuse me. Alright, we'll go with this one. It's gonna be a really short one, just so you guys know. Okay, it's not really bringing up the right one. Alright, I'll just read it. The Cradle Witch by Different Pride 1245. In the 1940s, Nurse Evelyn ran the baby ward of a small hospital where she was known for her cold efficiency. Behind her polished exterior, however, she harbored a dark secret. Over the years, many infants had died under her care, more than 40, though the exact number was never known. She selected the weakest and most vulnerable children, and behind closed doors, they mysteriously perished. The mothers left heartbroken, but no one dared question the perfect nurse. That was until Charlotte arrived, a powerful woman, rich and influential. Charlotte gave birth at the hospital. Unlike the others, her child was placed under Evelyn's care. But this time, things went terribly wrong. The baby, once healthy, grew sick and died within days. Charlotte, devastated, knew there was something sinister at play. She was not a woman to accept silence. As she cradled her dead child, Charlotte whispered a curse, ancient and filled with the agony of every mother who had lost a child to Evelyn's hands. You will feel every moment of suffering, every ounce of guilt, every tear shed for children you've taken. All of it will be yours forever. The curse tore through the air, rendering the fabric of reality itself. A dark force surged through the tear, and in the instant, Evelyn was transformed. The pain, guilt, and agony of every life she stole flooded into her, both the mother's suffering and the spirits of the children, and twisted into something unnatural. She became the Cradle Witch. Her body warped, her skin pale and taut, her eyes sunken deep in her skull. The cries of the dead echoed in her ears, their sorrow mangling with her own. She was consumed by the curse, yet she found a strange sense of purpose in it. She now hunted those who carried unbearable shame and guilt, those trapped in their own sorrow. She would end their suffering by claiming it for herself. And so the Cradle Witch roams, a creature of agony and vengeance, often dark release to those who drown in their own remorse. In her arms the lost find peace. But in a peace that no one truly seeks. Hello, Mr. Underpants. Okay, well, with that, that is all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the 2 sentences. Sorry about all the coughing. I'm trying to fix it, but I don't think that's going to be fixed anytime soon. So, thank you guys so much. I hope you have a good rest of your day. She says, not remembering to go to the thing to do it. Sorry, guys.